Live. Hi everyone, welcome back to SGDA Student Game Showcase. I think it's time slot D, I believe. And we're here with the Adventures of Caine McDowell, the Porkian Encounter from VGDC at UCI. I'm Jason again, president of SGDA. And if Anuj, you could introduce yourself and the dev team here.
Definitely. Hey, everybody, this is Anuj, the webmaster of SGDA, and one of the co-hosts of the Student Game Showcase. We are in slot D indeed, and we're here with the developers of the Adventures of Cade McDowell, Porkian Encounter. If you'd like to give yourself an introduction, the floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you very much. Yes, my name's Leo. I am the sole developer of Adventures of Caine McDowell, the Porkian Encounter, and thank you all very much for giving it a shot.
Of course, awesome. Uh, with that, I think let's tab in and let's begin. So, what was? Oh, there we go. Perfect. What was your role in the development of the game?
So, sort of as I mentioned just briefly, kind of everything. So this was a solo game dev project, a fact that I'm fairly proud of. And so because of that, yeah, every aspect of it, I was doing the art, the animations, programming, level design, um, and yeah, so this was a awesome experience just to really push all of those skills to the limit and get out of my comfort zone.
What are you kind of classy trained in? What was the thing that you say you'd had the most experience with before you started this project?
So I'd say probably art and narrative design were like my two big skills. In fact, I actually wanted to be a writer for a little bit, and then I realized that I loved um, allowing other people to sort of share in those adventures. And so game design just seemed like an obvious choice. Programming was definitely my weakest skill set, so that it's been a fun challenge getting to learn how to, just write in all those languages and get it to do what I want it to do.
It is a fun time learning how to program, especially when I was learning it. I was like, I am so deeply lost. I think learning the idea of like you tell the computer what to do, not what you want, was a very big
Yes.
hurdle.
Yes. I mean, they aren't
Awesome.
kidding when they call it a language. I mean, it's a whole new world. That's for
You can say
sure.
that again. All right, let's do some voice acting. The smoking remains of your trusty ship. That was I thought there would be more for a second there.
Nope, that
The
was it. That
records
was perfect.
the records of a small mining outpost not far to the west. We may be able to find supplies there, though it might be a good idea to look around for anything useful on your way. All right, let's walk around. How long has this project been in development so far?
Well, okay, so that's actually kind of an interesting story. Technically, I started with the idea of this game all the way back in junior year of high school, which is just over 5 years ago. Um, and then for about 2 or 3 of those years, I sort of just worked on the project on and off. And then in recently, just in this past year, I really decided to kind of buckle down and turn this idea into kind of the thing I wanted to make my first like big this is my Steam project. And yeah, so this version of the game probably 6 to 9 months, I'd say I've been working on it.
Awesome. As I get to our very first death screen.
It's my
So,
favorite part. Everybody jumps off of that ledge. It's my favorite part.
I was like, oh, surely there's going to be something here. And then it fell, and I was like, never mind. There is not. Let's go to the right. Let's follow our friend over here. Let's see. Awesome. What what would you say? I think you mentioned this briefly, but what would you say was the most difficult part of development for this project?
Um, well, I mean, honestly, I did mention programming, but I'd say that was, if anything, it was difficult initially, but it was also fun. I'd definitely say the really challenging bit was just managing scope creep. Uh, Originally this game started out as kind of just like a prototype. I wanted to test to see if I could make a just sort of like generic point and click adventure mechanic. It was literally just a bunch of boxes in a white room with a bunch of stuff laid out on the ground. And then I came up with the idea for the story, and I was like, oh, this might be cool for like a little 15-minute game. And then I was like, oh, what if I did this other thing with it? And so it ended up kind of ballooning into this much larger thing, um, which was difficult to manage for a while, but sort of in that time, that about 6 to 9 months ago, that period, that was when I sort of took a step back and realized, like, okay, what do I actually want this game to be? Um, and so since then, I've been working a lot harder on trying to manage that scope and trying to kind of stick to a timeline, get everything done the way that I initially planned for it to get done.
That makes sense. I think like scope creep is very much like you don't think about it until it becomes a very until it's almost too late in a way.
Oh,
There we go.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, and it's so hard too when when you're working on a game. You're just there and you're like, "Oh, this would also be a cool idea. Oh, and I should add something here." And suddenly, you've added an extra month of work to what should have been a 3-day process.
I I think that is where like you really learn how important producers are when you want to get something like finished and out the door,
Absolutely.
and then it's like, oh
Absolutely.
wait, hang on. Oh, hello, buddy. In terms of we talked about this briefly before the call started, but what do you like about this genre? And we talked about how like there's not as many these days, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, so, you know, I was raised on Star Wars. I loved the old school Sierra games,
yes,
Lucasfilms, point and click adventure games, Monkey Island, Space Quest, King's Quest, all those. And yeah, I mean, there was definitely an aspect of you just don't really see a lot of those games anymore. Even in the indie circles, they seem pretty few and far between. Um, and yeah, I really wanted to, just make something that I was passionate about. Um, and I'd like to think that I'll be able to get to that point, certainly. I think it does help that,
oh,
the there is my background in like pixel art specifically. And so because of that, it's made the process a lot of fun.
I see. Here we go. Let's see if we can actually stop this stop my way through. And I think a lot of like the kind of that genre not being as popular is not because the genre has anything wrong. Oh, I like how you can't really hear what they say as they get farther away. That's really cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
One of my best friends who was playtesting the game, he gave me that idea.
I think it like works really well. I was like, wait, why is it like glitchy? And then I was like, oh no, it's because I can't hear them because I'm like on the other side of
That's
the
right. That's
screen.
right. You gotta hit that little Goldilocks zone.
Let's see. Speaking of loading locks, let's see if I. Oh, they're gone. Yay! I am not going to stand up because I've made mistakes like this before. But for our next question, I'd like to ask: how long do you think the game will be when, or how long do you plan for the game to be when it's fully finished and released and ready?
So the goal is I'm aiming for around 3 to 5 hours of playtime. And uh, uh I'm hoping to accomplish that with one playthrough. And then, of course, I'm hoping to add multiple endings to the game and perhaps like completely different pathways you can take during the process. Um, One of the big things, sort of actually going back into your previous question a little bit, um, as much as I love like those old school point and click adventure games, a lot of them, I feel like despite the fact that there's so many possible things you can do, there's so often only one correct path. And so through this, I really wanted to try and give players more opportunities to, you know, just like make it their own, just to be able to come up with different solutions and to make mistakes. And you can be punished for it, but you can still see those paths through, and you're not just stuck with, nope, you did it wrong, you have to go back, and that's it.
That makes sense. I think, like, I was a little bit worried. I was like, it would be incredibly unfortunate if you said that and I actively died. But thankfully, that's not what happened. And I was like, oops,
Exactly.
fade to black. Oh,
Uh-oh.
they're saying, ah, dang it.
It's fine.
It'll be okay.
Wouldn't be a proper playtest if there wasn't at least one bug that came up.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. As we kind of come up on time, I like to ask: is there anybody that you like to give a quick shout out to? Anybody that you like to mention? Uh, anything like
Oh
that?
yeah.
The floor is all
I
yours.
I've got a list, in fact. I mean, first things first, I want to give a huge shout out to my parents. Both of them have just been massive supports in this process. My mom, especially, she has helped to finance much of this project. And my dad, who has just provided me endless amounts of support. Both of my brothers, they have been my primary playtesters. They have just found just a truly obscene number of bugs that I have had the privilege of getting to fix. But because of that, they've helped make this project way better than I could have ever done on my own. Same thing with so many of my friends who have helped me with playtesting, who have given me, feedback and support. And a huge shout out to my girlfriend, Kira, who actually was the one who told me about SGDA and this summit, and it's thanks to her that I was able to do this at all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak with us. This was The Adventures of Caine McDowell, the Porkian Encounter. This was really fun. We'll be putting the link to the Steam in both the Twitch chat and also our channel, of course. Leo, feel free to hop in yourself and take a look and promote. And yeah, we'll be up. We'll be back just a bit for our next game. And yeah, thank you for joining us again.
Fantastic, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.